Hi, this is Chris Boudreaux at South by Southwest 2014 with Greg Gerik of 3M, who has done some amazing work at 3M around designing and implementing employee enablement programs there, and also does a ton of great work around bringing together thought leaders from the industry, in particular with the think tank program that you run, and just a great guy to kind of know, because he knows so many great people in the space and does a great job of bringing them together. So, thank you for all of that work that you do. We really appreciate it. Yeah. And also thank you for contributing to the book. We appreciate that very, very much. And so I wanted to talk to you because the scope of your work at 3M has been so broad, because it is such a large and kind of diverse company in a lot of ways. One of the things that a lot of people talk about in this space is the conversations often go toward the technology, right? And you've dealt with a lot of the technologies, you've seen them come and go. And so I'm curious, as you look at the landscape in the space and you think about kind of how it's evolving and where it's going, if you were to give some advice to the vendors in that space or to the people trying to solve some of these business problems, what kind of advice would you give them? Or is there a particular pain point that you could point to and say, focus on fixing this? What do you think about that?
I think the biggest opportunity for technology firms is to consider finding the solutions to business problems and not just adding more technology. Talking to the customers, finding out what their needs are, and not just designing for design's sake. Not just coming up with charts and graphs and visualizations that they think will work. Because, like for example, with internal collaboration tools, right? I think just about every social tool we use and many companies use has some sort of internal collaboration messaging system. And so, I mean, how many different ones do you need? And you're actually making it worse by adding another one to the mix. That messaging can get lost. So instead of just adding more layers of technology, sometimes solving the solution for the customer or the business in terms of what they need to do a particular thing is often much better than just adding more features.
Right, trying to become a part of the solution rather than necessarily being the entire solution, which in a large enterprise is very difficult because there's a lot of things that are already there, right? So you've been at South by for a couple of days, and I'm curious. You've probably been to more sessions than I have. Have you heard anything new or interesting, or seen any examples or cases? I mean, what's been really compelling here that you've seen?
I'm from the blogs and from the chatter. There doesn't really seem to be any one piece of technology that's just hitting it out of the park this year, or that's the one thing everyone's talking about. But I think that there's obviously a consistent theme around content and dissemination of that content and curation and how do you manage all of that. There are a lot of different avenues for that, but I think that there are new tools like a Vocalize that are coming to market that offer opportunities to really tap into those advocates, into those brand influencers that can drive your business. And how do you celebrate what they have to say? How are you really listening to what your customers are telling you? And what are you doing with that? What's next? What is the action you're going to take next? Having a sexy dashboard is great and it energizes an enterprise, but what does that tell the marketer or the researcher or whoever in your company? What does it tell them to do next? How are they going to act on it? It's not actionable all the time. So I think we're starting to see people asking the right questions finally and understanding what advocates and influencers can do for business, and how do you connect with them and deliver the right content at the right time and leverage that intelligence all over the enterprise.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. It's as if advocates and influencers never existed before. They just suddenly came into existence, right? Well, great. Well, thanks very much. I really appreciate your time and coming and spending some time with us here. So great to see you. Yeah, thanks.